At 15 Japan time, on August 10th, 2021, the bulk carrier Crimson Polaris entered Japanese waters. Before that, it had loaded 40,000 tons of wood chips at a port in Thailand. By 7 a.m. the next morning, August 11th, the vessel arrived off the coast of Hachinohe Port in Aomori Prefecture, Japan, preparing to dock. But the weather had other plans. Strong winds and rough seas made it impossible for the ship to safely approach the port. To avoid any risks, the captain ordered the anchor to be dropped, keeping the ship at a safe distance about 4 kilometers offshore. However, at 7:35 a.m., powerful gusts began to drag the anchor along the seabed, causing the ship to drift onto the reefs near the breakwater of Hachinohe Port. The collision caused the bottom of the ship to deform. A long crack appeared between cargo hold 5 and cargo hold 6. A moment later, the ship managed to free itself from the grounding position. The captain ordered the ship to move to deeper water and drop anchor again. However, the fierce weather still showed no mercy. Waves over 2 meters high continuously hit the hull, causing the crack to become wider and wider. Seawater began to flood the cargo holds, and the ship's condition rapidly deteriorated. At 7:50 a.m., the captain sent a distress call to the Japan Coast Guard, reported that the ship was at high risk of sinking. Rescue work was immediately deployed. 21 crew members were immediately evacuated by plane. Then, at 4:15 a.m., on August 12, under the force of the fierce waves, the Crimson Polaris split in two. The bow of the ship was floating and held by anchor chains, while the stern had sunk to the bottom of the sea. Oil began spilling into the sea. Oil slicks drifted over an area about 5 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide, making the response work after the incident very difficult. This is a typical incident in a series of accidents where giant ships were torn in two, causing terrible maritime disasters. A similar situation occurred off the coast of New Taipei City, Taiwan. Caught in the midst of a violent storm, the container ship TS Taipei suffered a catastrophic main engine failure. With no power to fight the waves, the massive vessel began drifting helplessly toward shore until it crashed into a series of underwater reefs just 300 meters off the coast near the town of Ximen. Then, cracks started to appear along the hull, and soon the ship was on the verge of breaking in half. Oil has been leaking from the stricken ship since it ran aground. Around 70,000 gallons of fuel, along with lubricating oil and contaminated wastewater, spilled into the sea, triggering a severe environmental disaster along the coastline. But the tragedy didn't end there. During the rescue operation to evacuate the 21 crew members, a helicopter crashed. One soldier went missing, and another was injured. Both disasters were the result of collisions with underwater reefs, leading to catastrophic maritime consequences. Another tragic cargo ship incident took place on the Black Sea. This time, the cause was not a collision, but a structural problem. Built back in 1975, the dry cargo ship Arvin was originally designed for river navigation, not the open sea. However, over the years, it had been modified to carry cargo across maritime routes. And when it encountered bad weather, the ship broke in two under the pressure of rough seas and strong winds, while anchored off the coast of Bartın, Turkey. The tragedy of the Arvin reminded me of two other Russian oil tankers, Volganeft 212 and Volganeft 239. Both of these vessels had also been converted from river service to operate at sea, just like the Arvin. But their fate was no different. During a violent storm in the Kerch Strait, both ships split in half, torn apart by the fury of the sea. On some inland waterways of many countries, the situation of overloading cargo is quite common. Vessels are often pushed far beyond their intended capacity, forced to operate under constant strain. To make matters worse, many vessel owners neglect regular maintenance and inspection, ignoring the very safeguards that keep these vessels in good operating condition. Together, these two factors have led to numerous sudden structural failures, vessels literally breaking apart while still in operation, turning routine voyages into moments of disaster.
Tongkang bermuatan pasir silika patah tengah, posisi di muara Sungai, PT PK16 PK18 karena muatannya berat tengah patah. Begitu ini di PT PK16 muara Landung patah tengahnya nih, saudaraku, patah tengah.
Storms have always been humanity's greatest nightmare. Wherever they strike, they leave behind nothing but devastation and ruin. Even the mightiest ships, massive steel giants weighing thousands of tons, seem indestructible at first glance. But against the raw power of nature, they are really too small. Watch the terrifying moment when the cargo ship Luno is torn apart near the port of Anglet in the Basque region of France, and you'll understand just how small human strength truly is before the fury of the sea.
Wow, l'eau va rentrer. Oh là là.
Anyway, after all the incidents you've seen in this video, I just want to say one thing. No matter how advanced our ships are, how strong our steel is, or how precise our technology is, there will always be weaknesses. And nature always knows how to exploit those weaknesses to make the final judgment. So always pay attention when you step on the deck. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We've got more wild water action coming your way soon, so stay tuned. Catch you in the next one. Bye.